This is Danielle Yarowiecka with the BBC News. Hello. Donald Trump has moved to rally his supporters and raise campaign funds following his second court appearance in 3 months. The latest set of indictments were put to him at a courthouse in Miami. They allege he willfully mishandled national security documents and obstructed justice, charges that could carry sentences of decades in prison. The former president sat in silence as his lawyer entered a not guilty plea on his behalf to the 37 separate counts. The American pollster Frank Luntz told the BBC Donald Trump's legal issues weren't hampering his popularity among Republican voters.
His popularity is increasing, and here's why. Not only do they see him as a victim, they now see him as the victim of persecution. And so Republicans are rallying around him. Some of his opponents won't even criticize him for this. The typical rank-and-file Republican believes that he is innocent, and they believe that this is, in Trump's own words, a witch hunt.
Donald Trump and his inner circle of aides and attorneys face a litany of legal charges. Our North America correspondent Gary O'Donoghue is in Miami.
Before getting to court, Donald Trump had already attacked the special counsel Jack Smith, who brought the charges, calling him a thug and a Trump hater, mirroring his attacks on the Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, who filed criminal charges in April over hush money payments to a former porn star. But these two might not be the only criminal cases facing the former president. The leading candidate for the Republican nomination for president could also face charges in Georgia relating to attempts to overturn the 2020 election result there. And there is still an ongoing inquiry into his part in the January the 6th attack on the Capitol. Mr. Trump and his lawyers are going to be mighty busy.
Officials in western Nigeria say at least 150 people are feared to have drowned after their boat capsized. Search and rescue efforts are underway in the state of Kwara. The vessel, with more than 300 passengers aboard, sank in the River Niger on Monday. The authorities say some 50 people have so far been rescued. The BBC's Chris Iwoko reports.
Residents of 5 communities affected by the boat accident remain in deep shock. The number of casualties is high. The victims were among the over 300 passengers who boarded the boat on their return journey from a neighboring community after a wedding ceremony. Among them was a father and his 4 children. They are still reported missing. In a statement on Tuesday, the governor of Kwara State, Abdurrahman Abdulrazak, said he is monitoring rescue efforts since Monday, but hopes to find possible survivors are fading fast.
You're listening to the World News from the BBC. New research suggests that the world's most famous early human ancestor, nicknamed Lucy, could walk fully upright as well as living in trees. It means her posture isn't replicated in any living species today. Here's Charles Haviland.
Lucy, belonging to the extinct species Australopithecus afarensis, was discovered in northern Ethiopia in 1974, with about 40% of her skeletal bones extant. Scientists have now made a digital 3D model of the lower limb muscles of our small-brained, ape-like forebear. They conclude that Lucy could straighten her knee joints, enabling her to stand and walk upright as we do, and thereby inhabit grasslands, but also that her big, powerful leg muscles helped her live in trees like modern apes. She was therefore a master of both habitats.
The Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi has arrived in Nicaragua on the second stop of a Latin American tour that includes Venezuela and Cuba. The countries, which have all been targeted by US economic sanctions, have forged a new alliance in the past decade. In Nicaragua, Mr. Raisi is due to meet President Daniel Ortega, a former Marxist rebel who's been accused by the US and the European Union of human rights violations. The United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres says he's appalled by reports of large-scale violence in the Darfur region of Sudan. His spokesperson says Mr. Guterres has called on all warring parties to stop fighting and commit to a durable cessation of hostilities. In particular, the UN chief says he's highly concerned about the escalating ethnic and sexual dimension of the violence against civilians. The acclaimed American author Cormac McCarthy has died at the age of 89. His publisher said he had died of natural causes at his home. His post-apocalyptic novel The Road won a Pulitzer Prize and was made into a film. So too was No Country for Old Men, which won 4 Oscars. BBC News.